Well, good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. We are honored that you've chosen to gather with us this morning. If you're here for the first time, we're delighted to have you with us. And if you're comfortable raising your hand, one of our ushers will bring you a welcome packet. If not, you can pick one up as you leave. They are in the foyer. Unity is a positive, practical, open-minded approach to Christianity. It's based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of affirmative prayer. We believe that all people are created with sacred worth, and we are free of discrimination on the basis of race, gender, age, creed, religion, ethnicity, ability, and sexual orientation. We honor all paths to God. And as we begin today's service, please affirm with me Unity Spiritual Center's core values. We are loving, accepting, spirit-filled, and joyous. And our vision, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission statement, Unity Spiritual Center is a loving environment that nurtures spiritual growth while serving one another and the world. Oh my goodness gracious. Hello. As we begin our service, be sure and mute your cell phones so they don't interrupt anything in the service. And if you do have prayer requests, we have prayer request slips in the pews. You can fill those out and place them in the offering basket later in the service. For now, just please hold those requests in your heart as the prayer box is brought forward when we sing Surely the Presence. We open the service by lighting the Christ candle, which symbolizes the divinity within each and every one of us. And we welcome the divine blessings of this beautiful community and seek to share those blessings with one another. And we ring the prayer bowl, allowing its vibrations to weave us together and ground us in the power and the presence of Spirit. Now, as we join together in prayer, we center ourselves in spirit, in community, in the love of God. We open our hearts and our minds to receive the message, and we remain open to go forth from this place and do what God has given us to do. We say thank you for our purpose, for our inspiration, and for everything that Spirit bestows upon us. And so it is. Thank you, God. Amen and amen. Daily Word, May 3rd. Today's word is life. With joy, I dance in the fountain of life. Observing children playing in a fountain, I hear them laughing as they dart through sprays of water, surprised by sudden geysers. Sunlight turns the wafting mist into prisms of color, a reminder that the same joy and light dance in me. Life can feel like a fountain, but sometimes catching me by surprise. If I resist, I grow weary, laughing and dancing. But when I move with its rhythm, dodging, laughing, and dancing, I feel the pulse of divine life. Even in challenging circumstances, I can regard the spray as refreshment. the soaking as grace. Each of these baptisms becomes an invitation to cleansing, to renewal and awakening, and a chance to grow in spirit. As I join life's dance, I am lifted. Creativity awakens, joy abounds, and I feel fully alive. Our scripture from Psalm 36:9, "For with you is the fountain of life. In your light we see light." And now, Mike Cleary has decided to pinch hit for us this morning. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Mike has been a speaker at churches and various organizations for more than 20 years. He's been a member of the Unity Church since 1985. He is a distinguished Toastmaster, the highest level of achievement offered by Toastmasters International. Mike is a published author, musician, host of 2 television shows, Happy New You and Mike Cleary Presents. He and his wife Sharon live in Joplin, and we are so glad they're here this morning. Welcome to Mike Cleary.
Thank you, and welcome all to Unity Spiritual Center of Springfield, Missouri. It's May the 3rd, and you saw my amigo was wearing his sombrero in preparation for Cinco de Mayo. My wife Sharon and I were at a flea market yesterday, and it was Star Wars everywhere. And I said, "What's with that?" See, everybody shaking their head, yeah. Because tomorrow, May the 4th, be with you. Yeah, see? I didn't know about it until somebody threw it at me. So May the 4th be with you. She mentioned that we had recently moved to Joplin. And of course, my responsibility in the moving was painting. Painting every room, every surface in every room. The thing is that, there's so many colors to choose from. There's like 100 blues. There's just like, I just, whatever. I don't really care, And Sharon says, "Well, how do you feel about this color? Or how do you feel about these drapes? Or how do you feel about this wallpaper?" And I just like, I don't care. I have no feelings about it either way. And it gets kind of frustrated sometimes because she's like, "How can you not have any feelings about it?" Well, I think men in general don't really, I think they were raised this way, don't really have a whole lot of emotional attachment to things. They just think more than they feel. And that's, I think, how it works, is that people use their heart to feel and their heads to think. And so if you ask me, how do I think about it? Well, I'll tell you. But how do I feel about it? Not so much. And that's the thing, is that sometimes people rely on their thinking more than their feeling. Sometimes people do silly things, dare I say, stupid things. And you say, "What were they thinking?" And the answer is they weren't. They were feeling. They were feeling something, and they reacted from their gut or from their heart, and not so much through logic. And I have to tell you, I get emotional at times. I do. I have to admit. Especially when I'm driving. And that's another thing that frustrates Sharon, because I'll be talking to other cars. I'll be driving down the road and I'm like, "Don't go, don't stay there. What are you doing? Where are you going? What are you thinking? What are you doing?" And she's just like, calm down. Or if I'm watching a Hallmark movie. Everybody's laughing about that because I cry when I'm watching a Hallmark movie. And she's like, "Are you crying again?" "No, I'm not crying. I'm not crying." I get emotional sometimes. And, you try to be logical and reasoning about some things, but emotions come up, and we can't help it. There's some things that when we get emotional, it comes up and we don't know how to deal with it. And sometimes we say, that's not reason, that's not logical. It's an emotional response. There's so much talk these days about AI, artificial intelligence. And then the movies came out about the Terminator and all this stuff, and people were in panic, like, the robots are taking over the world. Well, let me set your fears at rest. Robots are not taking over the world. And the reason for that is because they are machines, and machines only rely on logic. They only have processes and subroutines, and that's it. They don't feel. They're artificial intelligence, not artificial feelings. I was in computers back before there were computers, what they used to call the bleeding edge of technology, because I remember we had those punch cards, and I had to do one line of code for every line, and had to put these big stack of cards in a machine. And then the technology advances to where we had cassette tapes. Ooh, that was before floppy disks even. So I actually wrote programs, line by line of code for games for our nieces when they came over. And it had programs and subroutines, if-then programs. Like a little robot vacuum, its program is to go in a straight line. And when it comes to like a chair leg, bumps into that, subroutine kicks in and says, what should I do next? Turn. And so it does that. And that's what robots do. Robots only have a set of instructions. And they get more intuitive, and they get more better programming, but they still don't feel anything. And that's what separates us from technology, is that we have feelings. And sometimes those feelings come to the surface and they control us. I'm a Star Trek fan. And there's a character, Mr. Spock. Everybody probably has heard about Mr. Spock in there. And of the Vulcan, and of the Vulcan race, they were originally a very barbaric, brutal, savage race. And they realized that their emotions were going to destroy them, so they decided to go toward logic. But occasionally, emotions do rise up in them. Even a race of beings who focus their attention on logic only still have emotional outbursts and emotional responses. And we can't control that. We have that once in a while. We get emotional about things. And sometimes we get angry. I know I do. I get angry or frustrated about something because somebody does something that's not fair. Somebody hurt somebody in our family, or somebody did something wrong to us, and we're like, that's not so fair, it's not so fair. I had a friend that once told me, the world is often just, but rarely is it fair. Things happen, and we get emotionally, we get frustrated, we get angry about things. I know I get angry about things that happened like decades ago. I'm still angry about it sometimes. I mean, a thought of it just makes me riled, and I'm like, oh, that's not fair. That's just so not fair. How many people have kids? Or grandkids? Pets? And they misbehave, what do? We punish them. Yeah, you punish them, time out, go to your room, do your homework, go outside. We punish them once, right? But with ourselves, we do something and we punish ourselves over and over and over. I know I did something, or I had something experience that happened to me when I was 3 years old, and I still remember it, and it just riles me. You know, I mean, things happen and we punish ourselves, or we are angry and we're frustrated with these people over and over and over again. There was a scene in the movie Jason and the Argonauts. There was a blind man who was being tortured by these flying harpy demons. And he said, God, I know I'm a sinner, but I didn't sin every day. Why am I being punished every day? And that's what we do to ourselves. We punish ourselves over and over and over again for something that happened in the past. somebody did something wrong to us, and we're so angry about that. That person got over that years ago, okay? We're still bringing up emotions even though it's not logical. It's an emotional backlog that still irritates and riles us to this day. I have a friend, Willie Johnson, and he told me, he said, carrying anger for someone is like drinking poison hoping they'll die. You know, you're festering these emotions that aren't helping you, and they're not causing anybody else any harm except yourself. You're the only person that's suffering from some of these emotions. Got a little story for you. There was these two monks. We're walking along a road. An older monk and a younger, his protege, were walking along this dusty road, and they come to a river. And there's a woman there that couldn't get across the river. Well, this order of this monks, they were not allowed to touch women. Well, the woman couldn't get across the river, so the old monk says, well, just get on my back and I'll carry you across the river, and then, we'll continue from there. And the young monk was shocked. So the old monk got the woman on his back and he walked across the river. He let her down and they continued on their way. While the younger monk was just fuming about it. And after a while, he just couldn't contain it anymore. And he said, I can't believe that you actually touched that woman, that you actually put her on your back and carried her. And the old monk says, I put her down miles ago and you're still carrying her. And that's what we do. We carry things forever that harms us and hurts us, and we need to just let them go. Because in many of my talks, I say that happiness is a choice. At any given moment, we can choose to be happy. We choose to be angry. We choose to be depressed. We choose to have joy in our life. But sometimes we focus on things, we just can't get out of them. And that's where we have to say, you know what? I can see peace instead of this. I can see happiness instead of this. I don't need to revisit these experiences from long ago that no longer serve me. Love, happiness, joy, they're all choices that we make. The Navajo people have a story. They say inside of us are two wolves, and they're constantly fighting. One wolf is love, and one wolf is hate. And they're constantly fighting and fighting and fighting. Well, you may ask, which one wins? And the answer is the one you feed. If you keep feeding that anger, of course it's going to live. Feed the love. Feed the joy inside of you. Let that manifest. So, as we're driving down the road and something happens, we're like, what were they thinking? They weren't thinking, they were feeling. I was feeling. They're feeling. We all have feelings. We need to nurture the ones that sustain us and help us, and push aside, just don't feed the ones that no longer serve us. We're not robots. We can feel. When it comes to love and joy and happiness, feelings are a good thing. Well, of course, I've got some music. I got a song for you. I always got a song for everything. He was expecting that. There's a song about, my wife often says that I'm stubborn. And I am. I admit it. I'm stubborn sometimes. I don't think she means it as a compliment, though. Sometimes. And what happens is that I have rigid thinking. And other people do that too. They have a decision that they make based on their emotions, and they don't bring logic into it whatsoever. And I have a friend that does that too. I mean, he's like, I don't like this. Like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am. I don't care. And I just said, think about it. Well, sometimes we don't think about it. We just feel about it. I like to think that I have an open mind. I give the benefit of the doubt most of the time. I try to see the other fellow's point of view. But there have been times when I've held a grudge, stood firm on issues where I wouldn't budge, and refused to even consider something new. No, I'm sure I won't like it, you can't make me. I won't go there, no, don't try to take me. Hey, I can be inflexible if I choose. I got the totally irrational, rigidly immovable, logically debatable, utterly unshakable, don't try to sway me, made my mind up blues. Now you may argue that's just so not fair, being totally biased with nothing to compare. I have no grounds for my attitude, that is true. Please don't tell me this has never happened to you, because everybody's opinion is a little bit skewed, shunning something they find different, weird, or new. I don't want it. I don't care who made it. Haven't seen it yet, but I know I hate it. Don't challenge me on this issue, because you'll lose. I got the totally irrational, rigidly immovable, logically debatable, utterly unshakable, don't try to shame me, made up my mind up blues. Yes, I got those totally irrational, rigidly immovable, logically debatable, utterly unshakable, don't try to sway me, made my mind up blues. Sometimes I don't know what I'm thinking when I'm writing some of these songs. Today's message is all about emotions. And I know that, unlike Vulcans, we have difficulty controlling them. There was a movie, black and white movie with Greta Garbo in Grand Hotel where she says, I just want to be alone. And we're all like that sometimes. Sometimes the world is just too much and we just say, you know what, I just want to be alone. And luckily in our house, we have 2 separate rooms on opposite side of the house. Sharon can go to her own room and she can do her thing, and I can go to my room and do our own thing. We love being together. We enjoy every moment together, but sometimes we just want to have our own space, right? Our own time together. And when it comes to emotions, sometimes we get depressed or lonely or frustrated, and we just want to be alone. And that's okay. Some alone time is fine because sometimes we just need to communicate with that emotional part of our body. We don't want to ignore it. We want to acknowledge it. Hey, I know you're here. Thanks for sharing. Moving on. Okay? But depression sometimes gets to people, and they just don't know how to cope with it. And sometimes being alone with your emotions is not necessarily a good thing. So what do you do when you're frustrated or depressed? Well, sometimes getting out of yourself helps. Sometimes focusing on some other people, some other issues, helps with your own emotional issues. Sometimes, if you're feeling depressed or frustrated, then maybe doing something for others. I know Sharon likes to crochet baby blankets for friends and neighbors and family members. And it helps her, just be in tune with, the world and not be so focused on inside of herself. And I do that. I mean, I'll work on my projects. Last week, we went to a retirement home where I played songs and told some jokes, and people loved it there, and we had fun. We had fun with the group, and it was just a good chance to connect with people. And that's what we do. If we're feeling disconnected, if we're feeling lonely or depressed, think about other people. What can I do to actually help somebody else, get myself out of myself? I was invited as a +1 one time with a girl. She invited me to her Christmas office party. And when we got there, he's like, oh no, here it comes. So when we got there, of course, what she did is she knew some people and she wandered off. And I'm just like, okay. I didn't know anybody. And we can feel lonely even in a crowd. Yes. And sometimes it's hard to get out of ourselves. We don't want to just go up to strangers and like, hi, I don't know you, you don't know me, how are we doing? So it's something that we have to work on when we're feeling emotions and we know we can't control them. Sometimes what we just need is, instead of focusing so much attention on the experience, the emotions that we're experiencing, let's step aside and look at them from a different angle. And then that way, they won't have such power over us. I often say in my talks about how happiness is a choice that we made. And here's a quick little exercise for us to do. Now let's just imagine that you're on a warm, sunny beach. The sun is shining, water's gently lapping up on the shore. It's calm, there's a breeze. Everything is peaceful. And now let's think about something that riles us, something like had an experience while we were driving, or somebody said something that made us angry. Somebody did something to us that hurt us. Now let's go back to that beach again. Calm, relaxing, soothing. That's how quickly we can change our thinking, how we can change our emotions. If something is irritating us, move your mind to something else. Move your heart to something else. It's a choice of happiness and joy. Sharon and I, before we got into moving, which is a project in itself, we used to travel quite a bit. We're planning to do some more traveling this year, but a lot more stuff to do around the house. Of course, everybody knows that when you move, it's just boxes of stuff everywhere. Well, we were traveling one time in the state of Illinois, in this little tiny flea market. Now, when you're driving from St. Louis to Wisconsin, there's a little card you can get, and it says fleas on 55, and it tells you every single flea market on every single exit. And of course, we tried to see every single flea market on every single exit. And there was one that we went to, and it had a little sign there, and it said, do more of what makes you happy. And my first response was, duh. Of course you want to do more of what makes you happy. But your mind takes over. Remember I said that you respond from either your heart or your head. And your head takes over and says, we can't do that. We have responsibilities. I have to make some money. I have to have security for my family. I have a job to do. I can't set aside time for what makes me happy. I have to do things. I have responsibilities. And sometimes our logic takes over, and we don't do things that makes us happy. So doing things that we enjoy, even for just a little bit of a time, nurtures that heart connection that we have. Our emotions, our happiness, our joy. Doing more things that make you happy. Money isn't everything. You can struggle all your life working for a job and not make a life for yourself. Of course, I mentioned before that we watch these Hallmark movies. There's one series that we absolutely love, but I get all choked up and I cry. And it's called Signed, Sealed, and Delivered, about these people that work in a dead letter office in Denver. Phenomenal storyline, phenomenal acting. Well, there's one scene and one character says, I don't know what this means, but he says, I'll make sure I say it right, you never have enough money if all you have is money. Like, sometimes I don't get it, but I think about it and I think, if your goal is to make money, you'll never have enough money. If all you are thinking about is security and finances and getting ahead, you'll never have enough. You'll never have enough money if all you want is money. I play guitar I told this to somebody at the retirement home the other day. I've been playing guitar for 50 years. 50 years. And the question that comes to my mind is, why aren't I better at it? And the reason is I do it for fun. I just play for fun. I just banging a song out on the guitar and just do it for a good grin, sitting around a campfire. I think Kelsey said that we're going to have a bonfire later this week maybe. So just sitting around having fun. I have a friend that I've been in many, many, many bands before. And I had a friend that he was all about marketing himself. He was playing music so that he could make a name for himself in the music world. That was his only goal. He was marketing himself. And I went, where's the joy in that? Where's the fun in that? If you only want money, you'll never have enough money. Sometimes you have to nurture that emotional side of yourself. You have to get away from the responsibility and the needs and get into the joys and the wants and the likes. Do more of what makes you happy. Logic is a good thing, but emotions have value too. And you have to enjoy life while you can. Like I was saying, that you work so hard to make a life that you don't enjoy life. You work so hard making a living that you don't make a life for yourself. And some people at the end of their lives, they just I've spent all these years working and I never saw, the song Cats in the Cradle. Never saw my son walk. Never saw my son, riding his bike for the first time. Stop and have some moments of emotional experiences and not just thinking all the time. Have some emotional experiences. Now, I told you I was a guitar player for many, many, many years. And I know I'll never be the best in the world. And maybe that's okay. Maybe if you do something that you enjoy, it's okay if you're not the best at it. You may never be the best dancer, the best singer, the best musician, the best writer. But if you enjoy what you're doing, then it's okay. That's part of the journey that we're on, is to enjoy the journey. Enjoy the trail that we're on, the path that we're on, and not be so focused on the destination or the steps we have to take or the route we have to take. Enjoy the moment. Sometimes our feelings overrule our judgment, and that's okay, because after all, we're not robots, we're only human. And of course, I have another song. People are like, well, when's another song coming? Normally I write all my songs myself, but this one's a collaboration between myself and this friend, Mary Tracy. She wrote the chorus for this song, and she gave it to me, and she goes, okay, you write the rest. And it's a silly song, and I love playing it because it's just crazy. It's about enjoying life more. just stop thinking and just have some fun. This song kind of reminds me of the guys that were sitting on the front porch singing on Hee Haw years ago. You probably don't remember Hee Haw. You ask me this dress or that one, the red one or black one, which silver and gold accessories. But there's one thing you're forgetting, an item you're omitting. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. You mope around, it's got a hound, it's got fleas. Quit your whining and moaning, you're griping and groaning. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. You've had long hair and short hair, I have to report, dear. The style, it don't matter to me, but it would add to your hairdo if only you cared to. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. You mope around like a hound that's got fleas. Quit your whining and moaning, you're griping and groaning. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. Everybody's got sadness, and sometimes the madness can bring you right down to your knees. But it'll pick up your mood and change your whole attitude. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. We all know the chorus now. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. You mope around like a hound that's got fleas. Quit your whining and moaning, you're griping and groaning. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. Put a smile on your face, pretty please. Thank you. This is our time of prayer and meditation. So let's just relax. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Another deep breath and let it out. Calm our bodies. Calm our mind. Calm our spirit. They say that prayer is talking to God and meditation is talking with God. We allow that still small voice inside us to communicate with us. And we relax, calm our bodies, calm our minds. Today's message is all about feeling. We feel our bodies, feel our arms and our legs. We feel our lungs filling with air and breathing out. We feel our hearts beating. We feel our bodies being supported by the chairs. It's a wonderful thing to have feelings. We feel happiness. We feel joy. We feel love. Things that defy all logic. Something that comes from communicating with the heart. Love. Love for our friends. Love for our world. Love for ourselves. And we don't have to keep the feeling to ourselves. We can share it. We can share those feelings. We can let that joy and happiness and love radiate from ourselves. People feel that happiness and joy that we experience. It lifts them up. Your sharing of your love raises everyone around you. Your sharing of love and thoughts and prayers to others lifts them up even though they may not know it. It's good to feel joy and love. It's good to share that feeling of joy and love. And we speak from the heart when we say, I am love. Let us say that together. I am love. Together. I am love. And we feel it. And we share it. We radiate it. We think of those that we love, those that need love, and need happiness. We share our love with them, and we remind them that they are love. We say to them through our heart connection, you are love. Together, you are love. We remind them through our heart connection that they are not alone, that they are not suffering alone. We share our love and joy and happiness to them. We share it with all those who we think of. We radiate it to the entire world, anyone who needs love, anyone who needs joy. We share that love and joy that we have for ourselves with the world. And as we raise ourselves up to a higher level of consciousness, we raise the world up. Everyone benefits from our sharing of our love. And we affirm with conviction in our heart that all beings on this planet have and deserve love. We are love. Let's share that together. We are love. Emotions are good when they're emotions that raise us up, raise others up. We share our joy and happiness and love with others. And in this knowing that we are love, we say, thank you, Lord. And so it is. Amen.
Hello, I hope you've enjoyed today's service. I hope that it has touched your heart, that it has impacted you in a positive way and helped you on your spiritual journey. I want to let you know that this center is fully supported by the generous donations of people that resonate with our message. So I hope you will consider giving by going online and giving a gift and helping us to continue this message. Thank you and God bless.
In our lives we have problems, we have worries, we have sorrow, we have strife. Don't let concerns blind you to the beauty and make you miss the miracles of life. Can you see the sunrise over the mountains? Can you see the eagle in the sky? We're unbound like a mighty rolling river, flowing by, flowing by. Can you see the lightning split the darkness, pounding thunder like the waves upon the sea? These are all my sisters and my brothers, like the wind, I am free. Yes, I am free. Come embrace the promise you've been given. There's so much more that you are meant to be. All your fears, like the seasons, they are fleeting. Wipe your tears and share this day with me. Can you see the sunrise over the mountains? Can you see the eagle in the sky? We're unbound like a mighty rolling river, flowing by, flowing by. Can you see the lightning split the darkness, pounding thunder like the waves upon the sea? These are all my sisters and my brothers, like the wind, I am free. Yes, I am free. I am free. I am free.
Announcements, fellowship, for your fellowship treats. We'll be doing that again next Sunday, second Sunday of the month. If you'd like to sign up, there is a sign-up sheet in the foyer for those. Explorers Group, as Tom mentioned, meets Sunday mornings at 9:30, studying the book How to Use the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Everybody is invited to join in on that. Rare Breed, we are getting together to help Rare Breed. It's a nonprofit organization that provides immediate access to basic needs and rapid access to community services for homeless and at-risk youth ages 13 to 24. Their staff is trained to work with youth to build their life skills that will help them go on to lead healthy, independent lives. So it's a very important organization. And so they're always needing donations, things like deodorant, sunscreen, high-protein snacks, summer clothing, shampoo and conditioner, and smaller single use. So there are all kinds of things that we can do to help these kids. And there's a green box in the foyer. What? There will be a green box in the foyer. And so we're going to gather donations between now and the 20th of May so we can get them delivered to the drop-off center for them. And if you're interested in knowing or in providing a meal service, let Kelsey know that as well. Art Fest service, what? After the service, my goodness. Oh, okay. Cinco de Mayo, after the service immediately, having a little party downstairs. It could get wild, so brace yourself. And then a community meeting happening on June the 28th. Reverend Cynthia will be back to join us on the 28th of June. And we're hosting a community meeting where all are welcome immediately after the service to join in and help plan the next steps of building connections in our church. So some interesting discussion will be happening then, and we hope you'll all take part. Tai Chi Fusion Chair Yoga at 11:15 a.m. Thursdays in May. That'll be happening here. 2 weeks in May. Is that right? Sorry, 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Low impact chair training class, great for all bodies. And next Sunday we'll have John Two Hawks back, so that'll be a treat. So, thank you, Sanctuary Flowers, donated by Eleanor Cardy, for the peace that God brings to all of us in all positions of life. May we accept the guidance God gives us. Ushers, Lori and Domingo, thank you. Kelsey, thank you for always keeping us straight. Elaine for music, Mike Cleary for special music, for me for stumbling around up here, and a special thank you again to Mike for stepping in this morning and doing our service. We appreciate it. And now let's gather around for the peace song. And now let's join together in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.